Huge PSA for the Kubernetes community. This story and more on your weekly cybersecurity roundup. I'm Allie Diamond, and this is ThreatWire. Apple, Meta, and Microsoft have made big moves in the past week to work towards closing major security gaps. Apple is in the process of rolling out a new feature to limit the ability of precise location tracking via cell towers. Mobile carriers are able to get precise locations of phones using the distance of a device from a tower. In 2024, multiple phone carriers were fined by the FCC for illegally sharing user location data found through mobile phone carriers. This new feature in the Apple suite is called Limit Precise Location Settings. It doesn't impact important information like information used by first responders or location data used by apps like Find My. Instead, this only limits the precision of the data shared with cellular networks. The ability to engage with this feature is limited to certain models of iPhone and iPad, as well as depends on the mobile carrier. On January 29th, Microsoft released a blog post announcing they're phasing out NTLM and opting to use stronger Kerberos-based alternatives. A few weeks ago, we shared that Google's subsidiary, Mandiant, published a rainbow table to make cracking the NTLM protocol on Windows systems easier. Even though this protocol has been proven to be insecure for a decade plus, the team at Mandiant was still finding it being used in production. Microsoft is making the first big step in disabling NTLM by default. They plan on rolling out that change in the next version of Windows Server. Until then, they've laid out a plan for organizations to be prepared for the end of life of support of NTLM by Windows. Finally, Meta has introduced new features to WhatsApp to help protect their high-risk users. These new features are called the strict account settings and are aimed at target demographics of journalists, public figures, and high-risk individuals. But technically, any user can go turn these settings on now. Activating these settings will turn on very restrictive privacy controls, including forced 2FA, media blocking and call blocking from unknown senders, locking access to identifiable user information, and more. Finally, Meta has begun to use Rust to build out new security for users, so congrats to the Rust fan bros. These three industry leaders are starting to publicly take user security more seriously. As a viewer, how does this make you feel? I'm curious to hear how you interpret this from a business perspective. Imagine getting a job in this economy, only to use it to attempt to steal company proprietary information and use it to attempt to strengthen known state threat actors. And yes, this did happen. A former Google engineer was convicted on 7 counts of economic espionage and another 7 counts of theft of trade secrets. Turns out he didn't do a great job hiding who exactly he was stealing secrets from or what he was doing with it. The engineer transferred over 2,000 documents containing information deemed trade secrets about the architecture of Google's tensor processing unit chips, supercomputer orchestration software, custom network interface card designs, and chip communication software. He would download them and then transfer them to his personal Google Drive. He used his stolen knowledge to start a company in China focused on AI and ML, pitching to investors that he would be able to build an AI supercomputing infrastructure similar to Google. I wonder how he got that information. He had also applied for a talent visa on the basis of this company. Ding's application for this talent plan stated that he planned to help China to have computing power infrastructure capabilities that are on par with the international level, the DOJ said. The evidence at trial also showed that Ding intended to benefit 2 entities controlled by the government of China by assisting with the development of an AI supercomputer and collaborating on the research and development of custom machine learning chips. He was an engineer based out of a US-based Google office, but got his friends to tap his badge into the office to pretend he was at work. Instead, he would fly back to China to present to investors, which is exactly how he got caught. Google discovered that he had given a public presentation seeking investors for his startup. Each of his theft charges have a maximum sentence of 10 years, and the economic espionage charges have a max sentence of 15 years in prison. Personally, I've literally never heard of this kind of targeted attack before. A new blog post has come out revealing how attackers were able to target specific users of Notepad++. It turns out there wasn't any issues with the code of Notepad++. The attackers, believed to be Chinese-sponsored NATE station actors, compromised the program at an infrastructure level. They were able to deliver a custom backdoor into the application. The exact technical mechanism remains under investigation, though the compromise occurred at the hosting provider level rather than through vulnerabilities in Notepad++ code itself. Traffic from certain targeted users was selectively redirected to attacker-controlled served malicious update manifests. The attackers were able to redirect update traffic for targeted users to malicious servers, allowing them to infiltrate users. It was estimated that they gained original access in June 2025 and held internal server credentials until early December 2025. In the remediation, Notepad++ has moved to a new hosting provider, as well as added signature and certificate verification enforcements. If an internet-critical open-source project reaches end of life and no one is there to maintain it, do the hackers still make a sound? We're going to be watching this happen in real time with Ingress Nginx. The Kubernetes Steering Committee released a formal statement on January 29, 2026, announcing the end of life of the Ingress Nginx project. After March 2026, there will be no more bug fixes, no more patches, and no more updates. The open source project will be done. The issue, according to the announcement via internal Datadog research, over 50% of cloud-native environments rely on Ingress Nginx. This means that there is a significantly high, non-zero chance that you, the viewer, work at a company that relies on Ingress Nginx. The core maintenance of the Ingress Nginx project has been maintained by a bare-bones team of 1 to 2 people who worked on the project in their free time. They had put calls out for help for maintenance in the past, but were met with 0 replies. This situation harkens back to the XZ supply chain attack that was discovered in late March 2024. XZ-utils, a compressor tool present in many Unix operating systems, was maintained by one person. This left them and the entire Unix ecosystem vulnerable to trusting the wrong people due to dire need of support. The big takeaway here is if you're using this open source project, please be sure to migrate to an alternative like Gateway API. But more importantly, please support the open source projects you use on a regular basis financially or contribution-wise. As a heads up, distributed denial of secrets has had a domain change. For context, DDoSecrets is a website dedicated to news leaks and is considered the successor to WikiLeaks. On January 28th, there was a failure in their .com domain renewal and their registration lapsed. It was quickly scooped up by domain squatters, of course. They quickly pivoted to their .org domain and shared the news with their audiences, so if you were looking, it's at the .org now. Match Group, the company behind Hinge, Match.com, Tinder, and others, had a data breach leading to the exposing of 10 million users' info. Fortinet was hit with a 9.4 scored CVE. This vulnerability is an authentication bypass for their single sign-on and affects the Forti Manager and Forti Analyzer. Other Fortinet products are still under investigation for being affected. Moltbot, OpenClaw, is a security mess. There's too many stories to cover about it, but if you're actively an OpenClaw, Moltbot, Clawdbot user, please be sure to monitor your bot actively and probably don't let it access any sensitive information you're not willing to let leak. Already, it has been found that over 21,000 instances are exposed online actively. The acting director of CISA uploaded sensitive documents to a public version of ChatGPT, leading to a security incident. As a reminder, uploading random documents and company information to a non-company provisioned version of an AI chatbot, or anything really that is not provisioned by a company, or in this case, a government, is considered a security breach. As I said last week, I wanted to start a call and response section from the comments to be featured in ThreatWire. To start this off, I wanted to read a comment from @It'sAndreHall regarding last week's story about the curl bug bounty program. I'm the community manager for a Gen AI bug bounty program. Slop is a real thing, but we have a pretty tight scope and encourage our community to utilize the tools we have in place to assess their AI prompt submissions to gauge the likelihood of bounty awards before submission. That's not to say Slop doesn't get through, but we have protocols in place to address it so our triage team isn't inundated with Slop. A huge difference between what is happening with curl and what I'm understanding here is that your bug bounty is focused on bugs found by AI, which is cool, but I'm curious to know if this is a program by a company or for an open source tool. Curl is still open source technology, so they don't have the means or surface area to evaluate every incoming bug find, especially the ones that are just people throwing things at a wall hoping that the AI found something without a double check. Putting rules in place requires work from the curl maintainers, so that might not be feasible for them to do, and they've already set their foot down that it's not feasible for them to do. Thank you so much for watching ThreatWire for the week of February 2nd, 2026. If you enjoyed this show, please head over to patreon.com/ThreatWire. I feel like I squeezed a lot of stories in this week. Honestly, nothing was extremely technical that caught my eye, so there wasn't too much to dig into, but I wanted to cover as many stories as I could. Let me know what you think about the comment section part of the video. I want to hear in the comments. If you want to find me online, you can find me everywhere @endingwithali. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, good luck, have fun, and don't get caught.